just briefly stop you from talking because mostly what we want you to do is talk to each other. That's the point of this luncheon. I'm Ann Shalek. I direct our Women in the Law program. This is the 30th anniversary of the Women in the Law program, so this is a particularly wonderful year to be having this lunch. The Women in the Law program, this is not a Women in the Law program event. This is a law school event. And that's significant because events like this are not just a part of a separate program at our law school, but are a part of the identity of the entire law school. Of course, we have our iconic founders. You've all heard about them many times. But beyond the founders, this commitment to seeking equality, fairness, inclusion, justice within our legal system is a commitment of the entire school. And so it's in that spirit that we refer to our founders. And it's only because that commitment was renewed by our faculty 30 years ago to create this program, but it is a program for the entire law school. We have been very fortunate at the law school to have faculty, staff, students, alums, and deans who have been supportive of this program. And it's one of the things, more than supportive, embracing of this program. It's one of the things that makes this law school distinct. When I got the job, people said, well, you know, you're going to have this little marginal program, and are you really going to get to accomplish anything? And from my first days here, I knew that this was a different kind of institution, an institution that believes in fundamental values and believes that law as an instrument of bringing about change in our society is central. So the Women in the Law program has worked to integrate gender throughout the curriculum. As many of you here know, you've been in my feminist jurisprudence class, you've been in the Women in the Law clinic, you've been in the intellectual property clinic where we've done gender-related issues, you've been in the criminal justice clinic where we also think about, you've been in courses, you've been in clinics, you've been in externships, where issues about inclusion, gender, race, and equality are part of what we do. And that we seek to create and to nurture students who are going to go out and change the world. So we have a Women in the Law leadership lunch. We have Jackie Jackson, who's a leader and has worked to change the world. We have all our prior recipients of this award who have worked to change different facets of the legal profession and the world. And that is it's part of what we attempt to do, and that the Women in the Law program attempts to foster that through our curriculum, through working with student groups. I know many of you out there worked in the Women in the Law Association or worked on the Gender Journal. We have programs in international law. We have programs in domestic law. We feel like we are every place in the law school and that we belong every place in the law school. So the current person and person who's been here for a very long time, who has built on this tradition and has furthered that tradition is our current dean, Claudio Grossman, who I get the honor of introducing here. Claudio followed Elliot Milstein as dean, who's also here today. So we have a long history of deans who have supported the effort that this luncheon represents. Claudio and I started at the law school not so far apart from each other. He began our international law program a little before I began our Women in the Law program, and we all know how that program has thrived and has changed the world. And then when he moved from building that program, he's moved to building the law school and to maintaining the vibrancy and the continuing expansion and deepening of the meaning of this program within the law school. Claudio, of course, is a leader himself in the world of human rights. And he's a leader in making sure that gender is part of the world of human rights. It seems obvious probably to all of us in this room that that should be the case. It's not obvious to the rest of the world, and Claudio is one of the people who has sought to make that obvious. And he's done the same within the law school. So he has made the law school a vibrant place for all of us who seek to make the world and make the law better, and to make legal education better. So it's my honor to introduce him to you and to welcome you all here.
Thank you, Anne, for your generous introduction. You know, we can talk a lot about programs, and we need to talk about a lot about programs. One of the jewels of programs in the law school is the Women and the Law program that my esteemed colleague Anne Chalet imagined and developed in this way that we have perhaps the most extensive curriculum training people and how they can present the values of human dignity, use them, expand them analytically with experiential learning, with choice values, I mean, to the nation and the world as a whole. I think that that makes us a unique school, and just the curriculum will be enough, but add on top of it a journal, a publication, conference, seminar, attraction of grants, launching careers of people that want to make a difference in the world while pursuing the goals. So it's a unique thing. I don't, you know, deans are prone to exaggeration, but I will tell you, in this case, we're not exaggerating. And I will mention the following. Sometimes also, these abstract notions don't capture things and the reality of things. Let me share with you a couple of stories. How we can change things and how our institution has done so. One story was Fausia Kasinga, a woman from Togo that was in detention in this country to be extradited. Why? Because Fausia had seek the refugee status here because in her country she was going to be submitted to feminine genital mutilation. And the interpretation done in this country was that that was not torture. Article 3 of the Convention Against Torture said that you cannot return a person to a country where there is a likelihood of torture. And, but genital mutilation was not torture. And our clinic did that and won. And a person had been in jail, detained because of this. Look the impact that had for many people, not only in this country, but that was the fact that we here did this, had an impact on the conceptualization of torture everywhere in the world. And again, that is an important contribution to humankind that makes a tremendous difference in the concrete life of individuals. Then, domestic violence and abuse were not considered torture. Article 1 of the Convention Against Torture says that torture is inhuman treatment with some characteristic, also based on a discriminatory purpose. And it is discrimination. I mean, this idea, superior men will discipline people and can punish people, and the state doesn't need to intervene. And again, our students assisted in drafting a general opinion of a committee of the United Nations that led to a change in jurisprudence here, conceptualizing the brutalization and the repetition of patterns of violence as torture and inhuman treatment. And I can go on and on. as to how this law school has made a difference in the life, in the concrete life of human beings in the world. It's such an honor to be part of an institution that has these important values of human dignity, that promotes the rule of law, that recognize the fact that with our profession we can make a difference in the world. And today we're here to celebrate outstanding women to a legal profession that they have done that they're tremendous role models, and they are contributing through what they do, through their values, their thinking, their skills, to create a society that allows everyone to develop to a limit of their potential. As we gather to honor this year's award recipients, let me say that we are pleased and honored to be joined by prior recipients of the Women and the Law Leadership Award. Corinne, I will ask the prior recipients who are here to stand as I call your name. Corinne Parver, class of 1982, is the 2012 award recipient. Corinne founded the Health Law and Policy Project in our Law and Government program that continues to exist and thrive. Lee Alexandra Basha, class of 1985, the 2011 recipient, partner of Holland and Knight, members of the Dean's Advisory Council, a prominent tax lawyers that contribute to expansion of wealth and creativity in business in the nation and in the world, and a proud parent of WCL alumnus. Deborah Kelly, class of 1988, the 2010 recipient, is a partner at Dixit and Shapiro LLP, renowned for expertise in the areas where she practiced, and members of the Dean's Advisory Council, and it really enriches our decision making. Honorable Dorothy Toss Besley, class of 1964, 2009 recipient, member of the Dean's Advisory Council, judge, a retired senior judge, the Court of Appeals of Georgia, with tremendous interest in international law that has brought tremendous individuals to a law school as well. Last year, Nadia Pillay, the High Commissioner for Human Rights. Pamela Diz, class of 1983, the 2009 recipient, a member of the board of American University, a partner at Allen and Fox, a superb lawyer, and as I said, members of the board of trustees, and a tremendous friend of the university and the law school, and we're blessed with your participation in the board of the university. Penny Wakefield, class of 1979, 2007 recipient. Penny is a member of the executive board of the ABA Center for Human Rights, an important voice in the area of civil rights and human rights, and a member also of the Dean's Advisory Council. Edna Ruth Vincent, class of 1989, 2006 recipient, principal Colton, Cummings, Watson, and Vincent, a superb lawyer. Karen Lockwood, class of 1978, 2005 recipient, member of the Dean's Advisory Council and President and Executive Director of the National Institute for Trial Advocacy. The Honorable Nan Shaker, class of 1969, 2001 recipient. Judge Shaker is a retired senior judge of the Superior Court of the District of Columbia. They are influential individuals, lawyers who have broken down barriers, opened up opportunities for others. We are proud that they are members of our community, and they are inspiring role models for all of us and for future generations. Let me add, as we begin our lunch or continue our lunch, to finish now this, we will reconvene when the second dish is served, to recognize, to thank Corinne and Parver and Dr. Leonard Parver for hosting this year us at the beautiful Cosmos Club, as well as Professor Herman Schwartz for hosting this luncheon for the previous 12 years. So our recognition to them. Also, to the Women and the Law Leadership Award Committee for its dedication and commitment to our institution. The committee is comprised of leaders in their field, some of which include firm partners, judges, professors, leaders of NGOs, and past winners of today's award. Thanks to the committee, we have an outstanding recipients of this year's award. Will please Corinne and the committee members please stand, and we are going to recognize you with a warm applause of those of you who were in the selection committee. Let me also recognize Eileen Filler-Korn of the Virginia House of Delegates. Eileen Filler-Korn, please stand up. She's representing the 41st District and representing very well. So thank you for being here. So let us enjoy the lunch, and we will recognize Jacqueline Jackson. We are leaving her for the best, for dessert, I would say, and it's a very sweet and exciting dessert. So we'll continue later on. Thank you very much. My pleasure to introduce an exceptional leader within our community, Edna Ruth Vincent, the recipient of the 2006 Women and the Law Leadership Award. Before becoming a lawyer, Ms. Vincent was an educator in the Fairfax County Public School System. She co-founded Colin Cummings, Watson and Vincent's PC, which she was an associate with Hazel Thomas, PC, and a principal at Sarwell, Jackson, Colin, and Dagan. She was a judicial law clerk to the Honorable Leonie Brinkman, judge of the United States District Court for the Eastern District of Virginia. She practiced primarily in the area of family law. She has been recognized as one of the top divorce and family lawyers in the Washington, D.C. metropolitan area by Washington Magazine, and has been listed in both the Virginia, Washington, D.C. Super Lawyers publication. She also has received the Martindale-Hubbell's top attorney rating of AB. She's superb at anything she does. She's an amazing attorney and a staunch supporter of our institution. So, the students who are here, please take note of Edna. She's somebody with all of us should emulate. Edna, please come to Edna.
How do I follow that? Other than to say, I sell hype, but I don't buy it. It is such an honor and a privilege to be here today as a former recipient of this award to recognize and introduce to you this year's recipient, Jacqueline L. Jackson. And we know her as Jackie. She is our Jackie. She is a woman of substance, a lawyer, public servant, and an accomplished lawyer. When I asked some of my former AU alums about Jackie, I asked them for words that would describe her. And I heard words like unheralded, selfless, generous, a critical thinker, a person who sees what needs to be done and then without prompting, does it quietly. She looks for no praise, no applause, but gets it done. Jackie has practiced law in the federal government at the United States Treasury Department's Office of Revenue, from where she retired. She was and is a highly regarded government employee, such that she was detailed for a year to the White House as a special counsel helping to vet candidates under consideration for presidential appointments for which senatorial approval was required. Now, Jackie will never tell you who she vetted, but what we know is that with her thoroughness, her commitment, her integrity, she didn't need Judy Smith or Olivia Pope to get her candidates out of a scandal. Jackie is well known to the first year incoming Balsa students because she has, for I'm going to say 36 years, hosted those students in her home. I've been told that when Jackie was a first-year student, I think that was 1971, that she and her mother decided to host the event. And what Jackie told me today is that really her home was the go-to place. All the students wanted to come to her house. It was close to the school. Her parents had good food and welcomed everybody. And it's with that spirit that Jackie has continued allowing us to come into her home. Every year, we know that around late September or October, that Jackie's going to host what has now become the first year reception for the Black incoming students, the minority students, and AU's, the WCL, supports that. Sherry Weaver, the Director of Diversity Services, and many of our faculty and deans are very supportive, and they attend the reception and share in the wonderful food and comfort that Jackie offers to all. Jackie has an affinity for the Washington College of Law. She is a key sponsor of the Renee Grantley Book Award that awards each year an incoming student with an award to help with the purchase of books and other expenses. She established the Wilson and Amelia Young Memorial Scholarship to honor her grandparents. Jackie is a living example of caring and doing for the Washington College of Law. She is a long-suffering Washington Wizards basketball fan. She's a true Washingtonian in every way and can often be found on Sundays at the Washington Nationals games cheering on the Nats. Jackie, I learned today another part about her that she probably won't share with you. Not only does her love and generosity and caring extend to WCL, but it also extends to her love for animals. She has fostered over 25 dogs and found homes for all 25. 5 of the dogs ended up with Jackie as the parent. She now has 4 dogs, and in her spare time, she goes to the animal shelter to care for the cats because she can't bring a cat home with her 4 dogs. So she goes and takes care of the cats. Her generosity is astounding. Today, we honor a consummate Washington College of Law public servant. And it is my honor to introduce to you Jackie.
Good afternoon. Thank you very much for this honor. It is totally unexpected, and to be very honest, very daunting. As Edna knows, my friends all know that I prefer to stay in the background and to avoid public speaking like the plague. However, when Dean Grossman calls you personally and tells you of this wonderful honor the law school wants to bestow on you, no is not an option. Thank you again. Let me start by giving a brief description of my background and why I'm here today. My mother, Margaret Jackson, and my father, Howard Jackson, were born and raised in Selma, Alabama in the 1920s and 30s. They both attended Tuskegee University, as my mother from high school, my father after World War II. I was born in Los Angeles as my mother was finishing her master's degree at UCLA. I went home on a pillow, 6 weeks old. Later, I had vague memories as a toddler in no taller than me as she received her PhD in English literature from Cornell University. Before moving to Washington in 1962, my parents taught at 5 small black college campuses around the country. DC is the first place we've lived longer than 3 years. We were always ready for the next adventure. In DC, my mother taught at the University of the District of Columbia, and my father went on to work for Marriott. After a year in public junior high school, my parents decided I would be better in private school. Unfortunately, the year was 1963, and full integration was still several years away. However, I eventually attended Hawthorne Preparatory School, a small progressive school in Southwest Washington that continued to cement the curiosity and love of learning that my parents started. There were only 50 students in my graduating class. Whether to attend law school was never an issue, but where was my decision. I chose Rockford College in Rockford, Illinois, another small school with less than 500 people when I entered. When I decided to go to law school, AUWCL, with its 500 students at the time, seemed like a good fit. It was clear from the beginning that AU had a different approach from that of other law schools. If you were accepted, it was because they really wanted you to be there and wanted you to succeed. There was no survival of the fittest. Half of you will be gone by the end of the year. Also, I fell into a tiny window of opportunity during which, if a minority student was accepted, he or she received a full scholarship. My professors were tough but nurturing, and I still have warm relationships with many of them. I received an excellent education that prepared me for the 32-year career with the Treasury Department. As you see in your brochure, my career was split between the Office of Revenue Sharing and when Congress decided there was no revenue left to share, the Bureau of the Public Debt, the epitome of job security. The Chief Counsel's offices in both agencies operated like small firms in which each attorney was responsible for a wide variety of assignments. I wrote regulations which at revenue sharing resulted in local governments opening their infrastructure and facilities and programs to the handicapped. In the 70s, curb cuts started appearing en masse in public streets. Sign language interpreters were made available at public meetings, and public information was made available in tape and braille. I worked on a particular case in Jacksonville, Florida, in which the first female firefighter was hired reluctantly. We also handled FOIA. I also handled FOIA and other administrative matters. At Public Debt, I managed the regulatory process from drafting to submission to the Federal Register. I also advised the office responsible for marketing of savings bonds, and I got to work with AFRA and other on films about savings bonds, and on FOIA and EEO matters. When we decided that this newfangled thing called the internet was going to last, I was on the committee that developed our website. One of our first assignments was to go forth, surf the web, and bring back best practices. We first started as a content provider on AOL and went on to receive awards for being among the best websites in government. Later in my career, I worked on the details of the White House, Tibet cabinet and sub-cabinet appointees in the Clinton second administration. And I spent 10 years as the ethics official in the Washington office. I say all this to say that my parenting and education made it possible for me to have a satisfying career. I bought the Young Memorial Scholarship Fund, started by my parents, to AUWCL to honor their efforts on my behalf. I helped found the Black Alumni Association to provide outreach to Black alumni that the law school could not provide at the time. The receptions to BAA held in my house at the beginning of each year provide new and returning students the opportunity to network with fellow students and socialize with alumni and administration. They see what their future can be. Participation in the Dean's Advisory Council allows me to show my appreciation and further the law school's goals and ensure that students at WCL succeed in their endeavors as I did. Of course, my motivation is not entirely gratitude. I have always enjoyed the law school activities and the wonderful people that I've had the opportunity to work with. It has been a pleasure and a great importance in my life, and I really appreciate you, and I thank you for this wonderful award.
Shannon Schultz, board member, Black Law Students Association, please come to it.
Good afternoon. My name is Shannon Schultz, and I currently serve as a board member of the Black Law Student Association. As we all know, Miss Jackie, as we like to call her, is a notable alumni of the Washington College of Law. Miss Jackie has provided a tremendous amount of support for the Black Law Student Association. She coordinates one of the larger events that our organization hosts, which is the Black Alumni Association Family Dinner. The dinner welcomes new students and new members of BALSA to the WCL community. I've attended the dinner for the last 2 years, and not only does Miss Jackie feed us well and gives us good things to drink, the Black Alumni Association also presents a scholarship to 2 students each year, and I was honored with that scholarship during my first year of law school. Miss Jackie has not only offered us kind words, wisdom, and guidance through our legal education, but she continually opens up her home and, more importantly, opens up her heart to the BALSA chapter at WCL. And for that, we are forever appreciative and indebted to her. We did not want to pass up an opportunity to honor her today. So on behalf of the entire Black Law Student Association and the entire WCL community, we say congratulations, Ms. Jackie, and thank you for all that you do.
Well, we have come to an end on the official part of the program as we recognize the contribution of astounding women, members of our community, to a legal profession and inspire the next generation of women and men to excel academically and professionally. All of you who are here present have in many ways contributed to the advancement of leaders in the profession academically, professionally, and personally. For this, our community's deep gratitude. Thank you again for joining us. And as we're coming to an end, there are 2 things that I would like to announce. First of all, to recognize Khadija El Amin, our interim director for development, and welcome in the all the Office of Development who is here and is responsible for the mistakes only. I take the credit for the good thing. And the presence of my colleagues who are here and senior faculty and senior administrators, the president of the SBA, who is here as well, and thank you for your leadership. So we look forward to seeing everyone next year, and perhaps as we come closer to the new facility, we'll have the next one in the new home of the Washington College of Law. Thank you, Ray. If the women leadership group would come here for a photo with Jackie Jackson, because we're going to put it in the web of the university. I mean, the former winners, if they can come here, because we want to take former winners and the selection committee.